I keep coming down to when I'm all done with this, I'm going to be the only one here. And not that you guys don't exist, you're also going to be the only one there. In your learning dimension and how to figure, they have to learn how to realize physical reality is not just a lie and it's not just true. It's just not even here. Yet, I am dealing with it physically, and I can still feel it when you slap my face. But there are just, I don't know what the physical reality is. I'm creating. Well, guess what? I'm changing some stuff. Because I don't think there's a formula to it. I said that right from the beginning. I said it in the book. That's why I did not write a formula in the book. And this goes right along with distractions. And there are some major distractions out there. Now, I've said this before. Damn, how many times have I said that? This is something people really need to look at. Flat Earth is a distraction. The mud fossil thing was a distraction. No trees on flat Earth, distraction. Mud flood, distraction. Timeline. It is sex and the city, not in.
Yep.
You said it was in.
Yep. I did say sex in the city.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I got one here. I heard that. Listen, just because I understand, well, I don't understand shit because it's all changing.
You know I love you.
Yeah. Let me.
This was interesting.
Well, a lot of that, see, the Mandela Effect, that's what it's called, is throughout the whole book. But it started out with me having a possible death experience and then all of a sudden noticing changes. So, yeah, that's kind of the theme throughout the whole book, which I really wasn't going for, but that's what happened. And I feel like there's a lot of things going out there now that are just distractions.
It is. I completely agree with you.
Just distracting.
They tell you what they want you to hear, or what they want you to know, not actual facts.
Oh yeah, and then they make you watch this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
the news.
Oh yeah.
And you make you drink this shit, right?
They make you. They're forcing that on you.
It's so cheap and it's so good.
I want to get back to the mud fossil and the Tartarian race, the Tartarian that showed up. I want to say out of nowhere. That morning I woke up, I got an email from somebody, that word was in it, or a word similar to it. Then I get, I don't know, then I jump on YouTube and the first thing I see is this Tartarian whatever, and I just kind of blow that off. Get on Lone Eagle's channel, that's what they're talking about. And I couldn't figure out, what are they looking at? Well, eventually I figured out that a lot of people never really heard of it. So I guess it's like a Mandela where this thing shows up or whatever. I wasn't interested. You know why? History changes. Your consciousness shifts into a timeline individually for you and for the masses and collectively. But it's for you. And it shifts into a timeline where history's different. What are you going to do about it? There's no trees on flat Earth, and some of the what do they call them? The plains. So they're plateaus, that they're tree stumps. Listen, I'll be honest, I don't care. I know there's some of my friends out there that are big into that. I don't care. I don't. This is all showing us giants used to live on this plane, used to live on this surface. Giant people that are a lot taller and larger than us, than us measly human beings. That's what it showed us. That distraction's over. That showed they showed us that when they went to the whole the mud fossil thing, and the no trees on flat Earth, and everybody started looking at that. That's great. Okay, so there were bigger people here. Is there somewhere we can go with that? There were bigger people here back in the day, and we think it. Some people think it was actually us, and now we are smaller. Or there were giants out there, and now we've for whatever reason occupy this plane. Why does it have to? It's the mud flood thing is a distraction. It's the same thing. I've been through it. I've done it. I've gone out into the mountains on a road that I'm on now, and pointed out parts of mountains that just absolutely look like brick and homes, and like a fortress or protection, like it was a castle or something. And you know, these people will tell you that no, that was naturally formed by water erosion and all kinds of other crap. I've been through it. I've seen it. I've done it. I don't know if there's any place else you can go with that other than bigger people used to live here. Check that out, and here it comes. Hey, buddy. You came across the Mandela Effect, whether you did it yourself, or you came across some information from other people, and then you experienced the Mandela Effect. You experienced changes that do not make sense, that cannot possibly be impossible. So you've come across this. Where did you go? I mean, me, I was by myself for a while and then found the MandelaEffect.com site, spoke with them people. If I'd have gone through this myself, I would have been fine. I would have, lost it a little bit here and there. I'd have been freaking out. As much of an introvert as I am, I would not have stopped talking about it, although some of the things maybe. So you're on this path and you find other people. Now there's a group. There's a group of people who are all experiencing this same phenomenon. And I understand how that's fantastic because you need to interact with other people with this. I get that. But it was a little soon for that. These groups on YouTube, I think they're great. They mean well. They do well. They are spreading information. To me, the Mandela Effect has become kindergarten. It is showing you that you've shifted. There has been a shift in consciousness, and it has shifted into another timeline. That's my belief. Doesn't mean it's real, doesn't mean it's true, but it is my belief, and I will push that theory because it resonates with me because of the physical and spiritual, paranormal experiences I've had. And I know others have had these as well. And I'm interpreting it my way, and this is what I'm going to teach and spread. Because I've been called and I'm answering. But what I'm calling out is the bullshit. And I don't know what it is or who they are or whatever. It doesn't have to be a person. See, what it could be is it could be someone simply putting out a message to 3 or 4 people till one of them grab onto it to get it out there, to get that distraction out there, to keep you tied down. So I don't know where the Tartarian thing came from, and I don't know where the mud flood thing came from. This stuff came out of nowhere and fast. They want this stuff out there why it's a distraction. Why is it a distraction? It's important for us to know about our history. History changes, okay? Depending on which timeline you shift your consciousness into, the history is going to be different, possibly. So why bother? I've looked into it. I've looked into the mud floods, looked into the mud fossils, looked into the trees, looked into flat Earth. Those things are major distractions to keep you from the truth, keep you locked down where you are. Because they're fine right now where you are. You, and yes, I'm talking to you, are in trouble. Because it's a good thing to share information with other people who have experienced these phenomenons, but it's also a trap. Or could be a trap. I don't want to talk in absolutes. If it was infinite and quantum, there's a shot that we absolutely would never notice a change, because that specific timeline would exist and we would have shifted our consciousness into it. So I'm under the impression, because of that if it is into infinite quantum, so why are we seeing changes if it's infinite quantum? That's because we're being shown messages, whether it's God or whether it's your higher self, whether it's the Christ energy, whatever it is, whatever you want to label it, those messages, clues, or hints are coming in to tell us, hey, wake up. Because the Mandela Effect, what it's showing you is, well, it's going to show you whatever it's showing you from your perspective, wherever you are in your spiritual growth. For the messages in the Mandela Effect, say more than 50% of them point to the number one, or the letter I, or a word that changes the meaning to mean singular rather than plural. All these things come down to you. And I think the quicker you get within yourself, and I'm talking to myself, boy, let me tell you, because it's what I need to do. I started to do it, and I started to experience more physical reality. Didn't like that, didn't want that. So I started to distract myself with YouTube videos on Flat Earth and Mandela Effects, and tried to get back into it. It never really left me, but that's what I was doing. I didn't even realize it. When things were going on, I would just shift. And it's my terminology. All you're doing is changing your perception. All you're doing is having good thoughts. All you're doing is being positive. Think positive. That might be all you're doing. And like I said early on in this, I don't think there's a formula. I don't think it's the law of attraction. It's just a doing. It's just a being. It's just knowing. It's just doing it, period. Just do it. I wonder why they put that out. And I think trying to make a formula out of it is a trap. You can just have whatever you want and know it and do it and stay, and if you really want to practice that, you have to stop watching TV. You can't watch TV just to be informed. You can't do it. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're hurting yourself. You're maybe not hurting yourself, but you're slowing your growth down, because if you want to practice creating, what do you want? What is it you want? I want to think about something I want. I'm trying not to go so physical. I'm just going to say, what is it I want? Well, I would like to see some truth come out, as the Mandela Effect did, Hey, look, flat Earth, mud floods, mud fossils, all that stuff could be real. I'm just saying, what's it matter? If we can create and shift our consciousness into a timeline that's better for us, I'm not even saying more to our liking anymore. I'm saying that's better for you. If you can shift your consciousness into a timeline where it's better for your spirit, that's what we need to be doing. Because all this other stuff, okay, great, we already found out, we've already speculated that larger people have lived on this plane. Why are we going at it again? Oh, because it's part of history. Well, it used to be the lion and the lamb for me, man. Not the wolf and the lamb. That's part of history. That's a physical change. I'm guaranteeing you, if I was drugged and experimented on, look, there was 4 people in that car when I studied it. I ain't the only one that thinks that. But now there's 6. Physical reality is malleable. It shifts, it changes. Does it shift and change where you focus? You know, in my book, when I sign my book off to people, I say focus and shift. But it's even quicker than saying it. You know, what you're doing, it's quicker than saying it. Barely even focusing, because you know. It's quicker than a snap of a finger when you figure it out. And I don't even think there's anything to figure out. I have so many points in this video, but I really think the main one is it's going to come down to you. If you truly want to break out of this, I don't mean break out of this, I misspoke. If you truly want to get a hold of your life for you, to experience the things you need to experience and desire to experience, then you need to do it. It's not going to come from another YouTube channel. No, it's going to be from you. And as long as you're still can't wait to get to the computer to watch, a show coming on that comes on every certain day or whatever, it's just like running home to watch your favorite TV show. Might not be as heavy a program, and you might not be hurting yourself as much because you're staying informed. If you put it all down and get within yourself, find a good spiritual teacher on YouTube or somebody you trust on YouTube that is aware of what's going on. There's people I've been listening to that use different terminologies than I do, and it just helps me. It just helps because I understand what they're saying, and I just change the words around to my words, and it doesn't change the meaning. It doesn't change the meaning one bit, but that they help me because it just gets me within myself. It's still a group, okay? It's still a group I'd have to eventually break away. It's still a group that I'd have to pull myself away from and do it myself. Because what do I need to do? I need to stay within myself, and I mean my heart, not my head. I have to stay within my heart. So that's eventually, to me, that's what it's going to come down to. We found the Mandela Effect, then we found each other so we didn't go insane. And now we're, according to the clues I'm seeing in Mandela Effects, you're going to have to do it yourself. It comes down to you. I don't know. So up here are the walls that I've gotten into. I saw these things when they were talking about mud fossils. And I just they don't look naturally formed to me. They look like they were built and then, time and erosion, took them out. Look at them puppies. They're bricks. But, and okay, it might be true, and wow, that's so cool. There were other beings right here, you know, we always thought everything was underground in another country or something, or with the dinosaurs, you know? I mean, look, once this mud fossil thing goes away, they're going to come out with something else physical to distract you. And they're not even doing it. You know what they're doing? They look great. Somebody or something is putting out this information quick. It's busting out all over YouTube. People are just studying it. So why is it busting out? You know, they're putting this information out, and it's just, I think it's holding a lot of people back. I think you want to call it a distraction or a trap. The thing is, they're putting out good information. I'll say negative. I don't like using those terms, but I need to. I'm physical, I need to use these terms. Negative factions out there are putting out good information. They ain't getting in trouble for that. They're putting out good information. They might not be putting it all out. They might not be telling you, well, in the dimension with the parameters are a little different, this didn't happen. But it did in this timeline with these parameters. They're not saying that. But they are coming out with truth. And people jump on that, man, because it's truth. That's what I'm saying. No trees on flat Earth, mud fossils, mud floods. You might as well just pull up a chair and watch the war on the news. Assuming there's a war going on now, I think the odds are with me. I am very guilty of some of these things. I'm not perfect. I'm just screaming at myself to cut it out because I'm getting to a point where it's getting very mundane, to the point where there's a handful of physical things that I want to experience, and it's forcing me to go out and do it because I'm under the impression this isn't real. No matter, the only thing that's real is the experience from my consciousness. I don't know if I got that all out before it went out. I don't know. Just get within yourself, because it is about you. I've said it before. I've said all this stuff before, but I've said little bits and pieces of it in 100 videos. And as much as I like the bigger channels, I still go listen to them. I just hang out, if I'm bored or whatever, or need a distraction, I'll go check out those channels. I still talk to these people. They're friends of mine. These people are friends. We don't agree on everything. None of us do. But I need to get out and experience physical reality like that. There are enough people out there I can talk to. I know it's not that way for everybody, and I live in the middle of freaking nowhere. and I could sit down and start talking with people about this. I'm lucky. I get it. There is another topic I really wanted to talk about. I talked with, I'll spare the name. I guess it doesn't matter, because it's funny, because a couple of people have brought this up. This has come up more than once. And the orbs, it was number 3 on the list of the orbs, man. No release of sexual energy. No release. It's not releasing sexual energy. I'm not going to name names. It doesn't matter. I'm not hurting anybody if I did. It's just, one person said, wow, that makes a lot of sense. It's the life force, you have it in you. You could be onto something there. Somebody else said, and this wasn't even discussing it with me, this is over their channel, they said, well, if not having an orgasm is how we are enlightened or how we wake up or how we get out of this, we're all in trouble. Okay? Yeah, I get that. Okay? It's, I understand that. You're right. What would be, what are you going to do? If you want to keep people locked in something, give them something they love to do that they got to stop. First it was an eye infection, now I got major sore throat and congestion, nothing coming from my sinuses, and little headaches. Like I said, there was a point in my life where I never got headaches, and then they started coming on sharp but would go away quickly, and that stopped, and it's just these tiny little pressures in my head. So I'm going to be concentrating on my own content, my own information. When I first started doing this, I was doing it for me. I found other people who were doing videos. Let me do it for me. Let me put something out there. Maybe something will come up. Other people started to email me telling me, wow, that was great. It really helped me. I feel like I can touch somebody and help them anyway. Even if it's a distraction for them that eventually gets them moving. Because I think that's what a lot of this is. But that's great. I think the groups are great, that everybody's out there, we're all putting out good information, but eventually it has got to come down to you. Eventually it's going to be about you. And I just think when it gets to that point and you're just creating and you're really creating for you and you realize that and you know it and everything around you is for you. Listen, I'm doing it now. I know there's things I'm procrastinating on. I know there's other things I could be doing that would make things go quicker. I don't know what it's going to take to knock me in the head to get going. Come on, I had orbs giving me a heads up, going, hey, do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and I did these things and started to have other experiences. And I slowly got away from them. I slowly got back into my habits, and they're not even habits, just eating meat, sexual release of energy. The proper thinking, I've kind of got a hold on, or do actually, and speaking right, watching my words. That was some of the things the orb said. I'm there too. Number one and number two with the no meat thing that gets me. I get, it's got to be something to it. I don't think it's necessarily the meat. I think it's the energy. So, but you're still eating a live being. I'm going back to doing these videos for me. I feel like I put better content out. I feel like I learned more. Before I got involved with hanging out with groups, doing bigger shows, interviewing people, I'll still do those things. I'll get somebody on an interview and chat with them about whatever. But I feel like I learned more before I got involved in it, when I was like a small channel. I'm still a small channel. I better still stay a small channel. When I'd say there's about 100 people that actually watch my videos out of the 300 that, clicked on it, and out of the 1,500 that are subscribed to my channel. I notice on big holidays and stuff, you put out a video on a holiday, you don't get many hits.
Even looking at the news to see what everybody else is doing and what's going on is bringing that into your reality. Okay? You're hurting yourself by just checking it out. That simple.
I was I was just in a chat room. I forget. I think it was Chick's channel. And I said, and I said it before, you know, I've been testing it, trying to actually shift myself. It's a timeline, blah, 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 or whatever. And, you know, I said, I've succeeded. Well, there was a few times I failed, or things didn't seem to work, or whatever. So I really don't know if I'm doing it or not, or if my higher self's working through me doing it, if God's working through me to do whatever it is. Because some of this stuff, I'm like, wow, that's an incredible coincidence that I wanted this and this happened. Or it might actually happen better. But there's a lot of times where I'm trying something and it doesn't happen. It might even go in the opposite direction. Not recently. Recently, things seem to be going in the proper direction. Hi. And, but the energy now is really great. It's not even what I expected. People talk about these shifts coming in and everything. I'm expecting, I'm wondering, did I go through what they're talking about last week? Or am I going to go through it after they do? So anyway, I was on Chick's chat and I said something like, hey, I'm shifting tomorrow. And the reason I said that is because I made a decision that I was going to go out and do something that was risky, and I needed to go out and take it. I needed to do it. I've been thinking about it too long, so I went out and did this thing. But the thing is, once I decided to do it and made plans to do it, that's when the shift took place. It took place long before I went ahead and did it. It was the idea that changed my perception and said, oh, you know what, I procrastinated on this long enough, I'm doing it. And once I made that decision, I realized, oh, when I do that, that's going to be a shift for me. What happened was, I shifted the instant I decided to do that. That's what happened. And I didn't realize it until after the fact, because even when I was online texting it in, I already shifted at that point. It was because I changed my perception. That's when I shifted. Not when I actually did the act. When I decided, this is what I'm doing. And I knew it was going to happen. None of this procrastinating, playing around bull crap. And the thing is, it didn't matter. The outcome, just me deciding to do it, period. Had nothing to do with the outcome or anything else. Because the outcome, I think back, it's not what I wanted, not what I desired, but it was definitely the best thing, and it was definitely what I knew innately was going to happen anyway. There's nothing I could do about it. You know, so now I feel like I could get to move on now. I get to do what I need to do over here. Yeah, I was filming the heck out of this, saying, look, it's spelled wrong in this timeline. I don't know if that ended up on a video or not. You can see it real well there, because it's AN in this timeline, and if you take the I out, there's just not enough room, or there's too much space, and I've heard all the excuses, you know. Anheuser residual to me. But I don't know about this one way or the other. I don't know how it was spelled back then. It's AN now. That's all I really know. And I know this guy spelled it wrong in the 1890s. Alright, I'm doing this now, so it's fresh in my mind. So I'm leaving the hot springs now. It's the third one I've been in. Now, in 3 days. Third one I've been in 3 days. Now, I kept trying to fight this one off because it's just a little bit further ride. And just coming here was amazing. That sky that just went off camera. You know, I was just sitting in the pool looking at it. And there was quite a few things that happened. I don't even know if I should bother getting into it. I don't know how much it means, but this one thing was incredibly interesting. I'm looking up in the sky and I'm catching a couple of chemtrails. Now on the way here, all I kept thinking was, wow, the sky's beautiful, no chemtrails. So I'm checking out a few that are going up, and a half hour in, maybe 45 minutes in, and I see the line in the sky, where it's just a little bit darker blue. And right behind it is one of the chemtrail guys filling in the hole. And the first time I seen that was probably 3 years ago. Took a picture of it, lost the picture because it's on a different computer that I don't own anymore. And I was like, wow, I wish I had that. That was an X with the dark lines and planes covering them up over Coors Field. That was the picture I had. I know, beautiful, right? So that's the sky right there, and that's the main cloud that I had my eye on, the one that's right there. But I laughed out loud when I saw that, and when I saw the line and the chemtrail guy behind it covering it up. I laughed out loud, and I had 3 or 4 people turn around and just look at me, and I thought, oh, what the heck? And I just pointed. I just pointed at the sky, and they all turned around, and they all got closer to the edge of the pool and kind of rested their hands up on the pool, staring at it, looking at it, and I went, yeah, he's covering up the line. I would have felt more stupid, except they were interested. They were just looking at it and then looking at each other like, what is that? What is it? First off, how did that one line get there? And why is this other guy covering it up? Because that's what it totally looked like. Now, what's even more interesting is right at the end, right at the tail end, is when I said, yeah, he's covering up the line in the sky, or something to that effect. He tailed off. The airplane tailed off in another direction. It still got covered up, but I thought, oh, that's interesting. That's neat. The other thing that happened, I just was so relaxed, and there was only one spot in the pool where you could catch some sun. So I went ahead and got in that spot, and I realized it was white. There was a little tint of gold, I'll say. It wasn't even yellow, it was gold. But it got to a point where I was able to look at it, and then it did what it always did. It found me. It got brighter because it found me, and I'm quite sure I mentioned it on another video probably many ago when I was back, trying to start sun gaze to see if it meant anything or whatever. What do I got to lose, right? I'm not, condoning it or not condoning it. I don't know. That's what the name of my channel should be. I don't know. So, there goes my battery. I don't even know if I'm recording anymore. So, anyway, since I don't know and I'm not sure if I'm recording anymore, I'll just kill it there because I don't know what's going on. I can't see a thing. Two videos ago, I came down the road not far from here, and all these white lights were going across the screen. Now, I didn't see them when I was driving down the street. When I went back and looked at the video, you could see them. And I sent that to Mr. BB333 just to have a look at it, because I just had no idea what it was. I mean, it could have been bugs, but I tend not to think so. They were all going from left to right, It only happened periodically a few times. Most of the times there was just one or two quickly going by the screen, and then a couple of times there was multiple, and they were doing different things. So I thought that interesting. My car's acting strange now. I'm not liking this. Great. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, time for an oil change. That could be it. Well, I'm liking the energy I've been feeling. It's not what I expected, unless I went through some stuff early, because I could feel it early. I could feel it right at the change of the months. I spoke about it in my last video, from December 2nd to like the 4th, 5th, well, today's the 5th. Oh, it should be charging, don't do that. Yeah, it's probably nice. It's down the road, yo. It's probably just pointed at the sky, right? Where was I? In the pool. Yeah, so the sun found me. I'm looking at it. I think it was the longest I ever looked at the sun. It didn't hurt. It wasn't blinding. But as I really focused in on it, and it was well on the horizon, so it wasn't like straight there or anything. As I really focused in on it, I swear it was spinning. I mean, it just looked like it was spinning. I'm like, what could that be? You know, I'm like, well, if it was a simulated sun, I guess that would be the lens that I'm catching. If it's something, it's a sun. I mean, it's dimensional, right? Or whatever it is. What am I catching? You know, it's a light. So can you really zone in on it? Once I did zone in on it, it just looked like it was spinning. And it kept getting brighter and brighter. But it wasn't brighter and brighter on me, just in my eyes. That's the thing I didn't want to talk about. Just seemed not something I've done in a long time. Last time I looked at the sun, it was so blinding, I could not look at it. I didn't look at it. And that was days ago. Maybe a week ago. And it's not something I do often. I want to say that too. So also while sun gazing in this pool, I was so relaxed, I was really in a meditative state. And I just started asking questions, not directed at the sun or anything in particular. Maybe like while I meditate, it's, you know, for me it's my guides or the ether or whatever that other realm is. Just asking questions. So I did look at the sun and I said, who are you and what are you in relation to me? And the colors changed. I don't know. The colors changed for me. It got very, very gold. The whole thing did. And I blinked. I mean, it was like I blinked and the whole thing went gold. And I just stared at it in awe. It was special to me. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, it wasn't as obvious as some of the other stuff I went through, but it was obvious to me. And there are other people around me too. They're doing their own thing. Didn't know what to think, except that I did get an answer to that. But I don't know what it was kind of vague. But it was either, okay, to me it was vague, or I was like talking to the Riddler from Batman, you know. But the answer I got to that, because I said that. I said, you know, it's just riddles. Or I didn't say it like that. However, I did it in my mind or whatever. And then I got, well, it's not a riddle. It's about your perspective. And that's going to be the answer to every question. Every because I could give you one answer, and from your perspective, the answer is closer to something else that's not even true. And I'm like, oh, okay, more riddles. This is what I was getting. So basically what I got out of it. It's about your perspective. No matter what question I ask God, the answer is going to come back, and the answer is going to have to do with what my perception is. And how much I can handle. The answer I got to the sun is, I don't even speculate. I saw an eye. The thing changed colors. I saw a giant eye. It was the sun, is what I was looking at. I saw the halo and the other colors around it. I'm not sure how I'm interpreting that, so you all go to interpret that your way. But the other thing to recall or remember is it wasn't your experience. I don't know what it takes. 3 days of hot springs and to get so relaxed and just start daydreaming. I think daydreams are pretty real, so I really don't know. I've had my focus on the skies recently a lot, and it's not the trails, it's the clouds. I've been getting a lot of those disc clouds. There was a really sweet one. It was funny because when that line hit the sky and the chemtrail guy was behind it, I actually got out of the pool to go to the locker to get my phone, and then I realized it was all the way out at my car. Because I was like, you know what, heck with it. I got to get a shot of this. It didn't matter. Now there was a disc cloud behind all that when I got back outside, it was excuse me. When I got back outside, it was a lot closer to the pool, which I was like, oh, that thing's coming this way. It's coming right at us. And I kind of swam through the pool a little bit, kind of forgot about it, and went ahead and looked at it again, and there was this triangle-shaped disc cloud. It wasn't a disc, it was that kind of form, that kind of texture. But it was a triangle, and it was in front of it. And I just laughed. I'm like, yeah, I don't have my phone. All this neat stuff going on in the sky, and I got my phone. I went about swimming around again, and got back to it, looked at it again, and the triangle thing was gone, and it was just a really cool disc-shaped kind of thing, the wave coming out of it and everything. Really neat. Okay, that last video, I put a couple things in the title, and just really didn't reflect it. I'm kind of bummed about that. If you go listen to the parts that you can't hear, and maybe if you don't hear it, maybe you're not supposed to hear it. I don't know. I do say you got to turn it up. I'm not quite sure what's going on with my microphone at home. When you hear it, it sounds fine, but you always seem to have to turn it up. So, that's when those parts are where I talked about the 5D and 3D sun, that one's in front of the other or something, and you're seeing the one depending on where you are, spiritually, whatever, however you want to word that. So we're all seeing the 5D sun, our consciousness. See, because we're seeing changes. This is how it was explained, and I think I said in the video, I popped it on one of my videos, one of my video categories or whatever. I think as soon as you go on my site, I think it's the top list. It says up-to-date energy information. A lot of that stuff there is really good info. I really enjoy a lot of that. You might want to check that out.
but I think it was the latest one I put up where they're talking about the 5D sun, the 3D sun. And I came up with, well, what if the sun simulator is a total hoax? I mean, what if they're just saying that to make it something physical? You know, everybody, all these people got together and they're trying to say it's a sun simulator. Look, I don't know. It could be, okay? But if it's our consciousness is seeing changes in history and our consciousness is seeing a 5-dimensional sun, then our consciousness is shifting into 5 dimension while we're still in 3 dimension. I still have this feeling that, yeah, it's going to be different or totally 5D, but I still have this thought that it's still going to look physical to us. It's still going to be physical to us. It's just going to be some changes, obvious ones. But I think we're still going to perceive things as physical. Let's put it that way. We'll be in a 5th dimensional state, but we're still going to perceive things as physical. But we're going to notice it. We're going to know the difference. That's it, it's the thought. Cool cloud behind that other cloud there. In front of us. You can see that? As far as the time goes, I don't know how long this shifting takes place. I mean, a lot of people say mid-19 next year. It's going to start getting more obvious. Well, I would expect that. Probably have to take it slow, or our heads would blow off, or we wouldn't accept it. I'm sure there's a lot of us that are like, let's go, let's get it on, let's do this now. And others are still, not sure, or, feel like they want to go back home. We really don't want to go back. We always want to go forward.
This is just some thoughts I'm putting out there, right? Are most definitely working for me, because the energy's really good now for me. What's today's date? The 5th. It's December 5th. Mercury's still in retrograde. Coming out of it. That's a week and 2 days away. I'm not sure it affected me. I don't know how much it affected me, because I really wasn't on the computers and the phones that much. Wasn't trying to be anyway. So, like I said, when I sent out to shift the timeline, as much as I feel like, okay, I don't know that I did it, okay? Spirit working through me, or did I do it? Because it doesn't happen all the time, doesn't work all the time, but when I look back, I'm feeling like, yeah, this is what I did wrong. This is what I need to change. I really think you want to try something simple. That was one of my biggest problems. When I first sent out to try and learn how to create, my biggest problem was, what do I create? And I would say, well, what do I want? Okay, well, I want this. Well, my heart didn't want that, so it wasn't being done. So what do you really want to create? Well, I want to work in a beautiful, wonderful atmosphere. I want to live in a beautiful, wonderful atmosphere. I want to experience life in a beautiful, wonderful atmosphere. I tried to take it slow. I'm not going to turn around and go, okay, I want to drive around in a Cadillac. Okay, even though once in a while I do. It's not, it's not it. Find out what your heart wants, and then realize something your heart wants that you would think, wow, I'd never do that. Wow, why do I want to do that? And why does my heart want that? You really need to shift, go out, run out and do something you swore you'd never do, something you're afraid of, or stop doing something that you like doing. And that's an instant shift. And I think it's more of the decision.
You shift when you make the decision. When you truly make the decision in your heart, that's when the shift is, not when you actually do the thing. For instance, I, was programmed out of ever getting a tattoo, ever putting anything on my body. Mom did that. Yeah, did I tell you a couple weeks ago Mom got a tattoo? Yeah, not the mother I remember in a timeline or whatever. So, but I already get that. I understand that. She's a mother from a different timeline with different parameters.
Yeah. I want to make it clear right here. When I say somebody is in another timeline with different parameters, it's still them. It's just another aspect of them. And you don't know where their consciousness is as far as, which timeline, how far from their parameters they are to you. They're here for you. It's still them. It's just a different aspect of them. I got it.
So once I decided that, what, if it ever comes up, I know exactly what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a tattoo. Once I made that decision, that's when my shift in consciousness happened. Not the act of getting the tattoo, because it just hasn't happened yet. But I'm not programmed out of it anymore either. Just trying to come up with decent content. I just sit here and ramble, put my thoughts on video, see what happens, see if I come up with anything. I misspeak a few times. Oh, that thing changed. No, it didn't. It's always been the same. You changed. So, December 5th, 2018. I feel like we've already been in 19. I feel like it was 2019 for me. I don't know where that's coming from. It's like every 3 months I feel Christmas. Every 2 or 3 months I feel Christmas. Of course, look where I live, so, jeez. It's always snowing. Stopped today. How about that there today, huh? That sun. It's white, but it's not piercing, blinding. It's not cutting through my face. And it's not that hot. It's not that hot. I just waved at the sun.
Okay, this is the truth. I mentioned earlier that, I need an oil change. That's probably why my car feels sluggish. So, and that's because I knew I was 1,000 miles over. I always like to go 3,000 miles and get it. I know they tell me because of the oil I put in here, I can go 5,000. But I don't like to push it. I like to take care of it. So I know I was over 1,000. I was over 1,000 2 weeks ago. And I've driven 2 hours away several times and back. And I thought to myself, you know what, let me just, because I should have bought the thing, instead of going where I'm going, I should have just do another hot spring. So I'm like, I should have went right to the place to get my oil changed, So I figured, let me check the numbers again. Let me see how close I am to 5,000. I'm actually 400 under 3,000. 3,000. I still have 400 miles to go before I need to get to my 3,000 for my oil change. Listen, I'm telling you, that's impossible. It's impossible. There's over 460 miles. I'm looking at it now. I'm like, no. So, and this is like within the past 2 weeks. I know there was a shift. There's a shift that if
I got the oil change when I thought I was supposed to. It's not something I would have even looked at or noticed. Other strange things. And this I don't believe I mentioned in the book, and it happened when I was in Mississippi. My credit rating fluctuation was going back and forth from 500 to 700 to 500 to 700 the 6 months I was there. The reason I knew that is because I was in a position where I could take care of some bills and get my credit straight, so I was following it. And I just kept laughing. Every time I go to 700, I'd laugh. Like, great. It was more like 550, 560. I'm worried about that. I just thought, this is a good time to do this. Something I noticed. I'm surprised I didn't document that.
Okay, I remember one of those stupid things I started to pick up this morning. I started to get pissy because I felt that I needed 3 new pairs of shoes. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's why I started to get uptight. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I couldn't understand that at all. Always like going through here at 65. It's kind of fun. The speed limit's 55. I missed that sign back there.
And stuff like that comes into your head first thing in the morning. You just got to brush it off. It's usually a lot stronger and means something, you know. Yeah. Cleansing my mind as well as my body. I think I might need a break from the hot springs. This is 3 days in a row. A different one each time. I know I come up with I say a lot of things in my terminology. A lot of people seem to go along with it. I'm not saying everybody.
It is December 2nd. I feel like I missed a whole day. I've noticed a lot of different things, changes, stupid stuff. And then people's demeanors and attitudes. It's like I'll say to myself, hey, I'm shifting myself into a timeline where I ain't got to deal with this person, this crap, whatever. And it's like they change. Or I shifted into a timeline where they're different, or they don't remember what we were talking about. That's happened a couple of times today alone. And I'd say all the changes that I noticed are positive or neutral. I'd say they have to be positive. They could be positive or neutral. So, how do you like that?
It was really strange.
Go ahead, start over. Tell me exactly what happened.
Okay. So it's my birthday weekend, Dallas. I was 22. And the World Fair was going, or Texas State Fair or whatever. So we're going to the fairgrounds. It's me and my buddy Sahan. Clay is driving his dad's white Explorer. And we're up high, maybe like 150 feet on this overpass. And it kind of curves like this on the wall. So anyways, my friend Clay wasn't paying attention. He hit the wall, and we just kind of like go up in the air, and then it kind of car tilts to the side, and I'm looking to my right, because I'm on the left behind Clay. I'm looking to my right, I'm looking straight down. Like I can see the ground from like 150 feet up, and everyone looks like they're about to die. We're all freaking out. And then all of a sudden the car is like back on the road, and we don't understand what was going on. But the car was like this, and then we were back on the road. It was like nothing happened. So I talked to my
That's
friend
awesome.
Sahan, and like we were all freaked out, but like, you know, I almost thought it was because it happened so quickly. I almost thought it was like just maybe like as time went on, I kind of figured it was like part of my imagination or something. Like I really didn't, that really didn't happen. But every time I think it didn't happen, I asked my friends that were there, and they confirmed it. That, yeah, that did happen. So I don't know, man. I thought we were dead. I could have sworn we were. I was either dying or on my way out.
Wow, and your one friend said to you, "Hey, I think this is another life."
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, "I think we're in like another life or something, man." This is crazy.
That's cool. Thank you. That's an
Yeah,
awesome
you're welcome.
story.
Yeah, it happened to me, so
Awesome story.
I mean, I could have sworn I died.
I had this whole thing set up. Well, I was just going to interview this guy. If I get 2 minutes, 5 minutes, I'm thrilled. I'm going to do a whole video just on his stuff. But I have been catching the energy right now inside. The energy's amazing. Okay, there's nobody in there. That could be part of why I feel amazing, because there's 2 people in there, and you know I work with one of them. So, but I came out. I was like feeling great, and walked outside and just looked at the clouds and the haze of the sun. And just wow, I just felt like walked inside another place, and I was like, oh. Feels better already. So it was like indoors was great, outdoors was awful, and it's not just because it's 12 degrees. But I've been definitely feeling something. You know, some of us call them shifts. I don't know.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. And it's very similar to the story in the book that you just purchased off me. You can get it on Amazon also. Look, shameless plug. No, I'm kidding. About how my car was up like this and then like that. Nothing in between.
Same thing happened to you.
Yeah, it's in the book, man. Written just practically how except I was up on the 2 driver's side wheels, and then all 4 were on the ground. There was no falling down. No boom.
That's
no
what
nothing.
happened to me. There was no motion of coming. I don't remember coming back on the ground. I just remember being all 4 wheels on the ground. Like I don't remember the transition between that. All I remember was looking down, looking over to the right, seeing straight down, and then I was back on the road. That's
like awesome confirmation for me with that story, especially since it happened in the like 70s, 84 to 79, 84, around that area for me. So yeah, that's awesome.
So the theory is that you just jump to another timeline?
To me, it would be your dominant consciousness. There's aspects of you in every timeline that you survived in. Your dominant consciousness, and the other ones are just whatever consciousness. I call it the dominant consciousness. I could probably just say your consciousness because it's where you are. Okay, so your dominant consciousness, instead of dying that timeline, you died. It just shifts into a timeline where you're probably within mainly the same parameters. Most of the things are going to be the same. I guess the universe has to calculate, okay, well, this person's alive. Well, that person's dead in that timeline. Can't put them there, but it would be closer. Well, there's going to have to be a change. There's going to have to be a change. Well, we'll give him the download. I'm just speculating here. You shift into a timeline where everything's exactly the same except that you survived that incident. And Kit Kat no longer has a dash. That's what Or Sex in the City is now Sex and the City. What, you remember the dash?
I remember the dash.
Yeah, I remember.
Never a dash in this timeline. I'll put it that way.
That makes so much sense, man. I mean...
Well, that's a surprise. I might have to start doing videos
again. This is why I bought your book, so thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, Nick. Nice meeting you. Yeah. Nice meeting you, hon. I'm Jeanette.
Awesome.
That is great. Look at you. It woke you up. Well, the info didn't.
I had to drive 2.5 hours.
You did it yourself. You accepted this. There's a lot of people don't. If you can't wrap your head around some of the, I don't even know how to approach people anymore. I'm so used to it. I'm like, my consciousness shifted into another timeline. Hey, we're going through a mass shift today. I can feel it. I'm agitated. I know there's a mass shift going on. I have gone into meditation states and said, I'm doing this consciously myself. I think I can. I've tested it.
I've shifted myself. I feel I've changed things. I've made things better. What is it, just positive thinking? Well, whatever. I break it down too much. Okay, I break it down to shifting consciousness into different timelines when you really probably should just be concentrating on your dominant consciousness where you are at all times. Every nanosecond you're in another timeline, and then when we notice it changes because the parameters are different, you know?
Well, that means something has to be constant, right? I mean, what is constant?
It's got to be you, right? Your consciousness has to be constant, right? That's the one thing.
Yeah.
Has to be. But the other thing, we're just, think about it, every nanosecond, this is just a frame of a movie we're just shifting through. Just so I can move my arm in the air or whatever, you know? I just think there's factions out there that are trying to stop, us from learning this because this is where they get their energy from. It's where they get their power, energy, how they experience their life. It's just a theory. But let's try and stay away from spectator sports and such.
Yeah, me too.
I keep telling everybody I'm going to take them to a hockey game. I'm like, why do I do that? I'm doing it to be sociable with the people I'm working with. But I don't know.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, dude, because I have literally experienced what you were talking about, and it's not even like I have to listen to your story and wonder what you're talking about.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad I met you, man. It's nice to have confirmation once in a while on something.
I can't explain it. Hopefully, I'll get some ideas from you.
Yeah, just get ideas. And I do say, I don't know. But because of my experiences, this is how I interpret those experiences, and this is what I come up with. You might have interpreted these things differently, and I tell people that all the time. When the stars came out at me, I went out and I went, I bet you're all just UFOs. And the first one came out right at my heart. And I froze. Please. It was over. I tried to get out of the way. I couldn't. I realized, well, this is it. I just gave up. And I just stood there, and it came all the way up to my heart, and then rubber band back. I saw the whole light. There was a line, and it just kept coming at me. And then it was just the weirdest thing. It was like slow-mo. Went back. And then they started doing them from all different directions at me, and back and forth. And I just stood there for 2.5, 3 minutes, trying to hide the cigarette that I had in my hand because I was embarrassed. Lakewood, Colorado, when that happened. I don't think I actually said that where I was in the book. I think I mentioned I'm in Colorado when that happened. But then I moved to Mississippi for 6 months to the day. Who leaves Colorado to go to Mississippi? And
that's not a smart idea.
And but I did that, but I had experiences down there. Now, the Rubens told me not to eat meat, and I wasn't eating meat up here. And then when I went down there, my diet changed to turkey and shrimp. The experiences changed, but not drastically. It was like compared to me talking. I told you I talked to my daughter. It didn't happen. Compare that to stars coming at me. That's how the experiences changed. But they were showing me something. I don't think there's suns with planets revolving around them. What they are, I don't know. I'm not even going to get into that conversation.
Well, I tell you what, man. People talk about they don't believe in the supernatural, but literally our existence is supernatural.
Sure.
So, what do you have to?
I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I still tell people
that should be enough.
Right.
Like how the fuck am I able to?
But and they get even deeper. I only know that I exist.
Real shit.
Yeah,
that's pretty well.
Sorry.
Hearing that from you makes me think that you exist. And
well, I'm thinking. What I didn't go on further was we're actually all in our own dimension. You're the only one here from your perspective. And we're all so close. The parameters of our timelines are so close. We can interact with each other. We're all in our own dimension. There's other timelines where us two are sitting here having a different conversation altogether. There's timelines where you're saying one thing, I'm saying something else, and we don't even hear each other. You're saying something. You're talking about a house that you're building, or I'm talking about the horse race, and we're just because you're in your timeline dimension, you're just going with it, I know it gets a little weird and deep, but it's fun, I guess. I don't know. I'm coming to the point where it's fun for me. I'm still trying to, finagle my way through and what's going on. And I do want to say that, my latest, I come up with theories, and most of them I don't like. The theory I liked the best was like the first theory I came up with. My consciousness shifts through timelines. And that's how we experience physical reality. But the other day I came up with the negative factions are being negative to us because they know that'll help wake us up. I'm just like, you know what, I don't like that because leave us alone. Maybe we'll wake up. Get rid of the straight line clouds.
Well, it's really funny that you say that because, well, at least your first theory, because it's hard to prove you wrong.
Nobody's wrong. No, if you're all in your own dimension, it's infinite and quantum.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, good luck proving you wrong is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Because there's
can't prove it right either.
right, because
really.
I'm in my own, because I'm limited by my own perspective.
Right.
I couldn't prove you wrong if I wanted to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
God, that's so funny. You're right.
Only you could prove yourself wrong.
Oh
It's
my
very
God.
strange how that works.
That is weird. How can you prove it? Will we ever know?
You know what I mean?
I think
without accepting that we're all in some shared experience or some shit.
right, well, that's another theory. We're in a computer.
We are to a certain extent, but I also see where you're coming from.
Well, the second theory on my list is we're in a computer simulation.
We have no way of telling. Like I said, good luck proving.
I don't like it.
Good, but right.
But it matches. It matches.
Proving it wrong.
It makes sense. It's
proving
like,
it wrong.
because the Pepsi symbol for me was a circle with blue wave on top, red wave on the bottom, and Pepsi was written in the middle, not the way they write it now. But you look, and that's the way it's always been.
That is not the way it's always been.
Well, yeah, back in I found out in '62 they had diet soda with red on top, blue on the bottom, and I'm thinking, wait a minute.
No, it was blue on top, red on the bottom, right?
Well, I remember it that way, but you can't find that. Now every once in a while you see red on top, blue on the bottom. If you look up old labels and stuff. But I'm thinking, '62, their diet soda. Wait a minute. The first diet soda I remember was Tab in the '70s. I mean, I don't think there was diet soda in the '60s. I could be wrong, but things have changed. It's like if you look back in history, there's a guy, Lone Eagle. He does a good thing. He's been doing a lot of going back, looking at old pictures and just finding things that just don't look right. They'll show a picture of an old city. There's no people. It's just an old city. It's just, it'll be, I don't know, whatever. I forget what cities I'm not going to say, but.
Where's the people? This is taking.
I guess they told everybody to stay off the streets from 5 to 8 so they could take a picture. In 15, when I was on the Mandela Effects site.com, somebody brought up, did you know about the 50-lane highway in Japan? I believe that's where I first heard that. I'm not positive, so I guess I should say 50-lane highway in China. So everybody looks it up, whoever was talking about it, and they're showing pictures of it. And it's an empty road. It's 50 lanes. It's this gigantic highway with 50 lanes in it. But now you can't find the pictures with nobody on it. Now you look it up and it's always gridlock. 50 lanes. I'm like, you should be able to see that from space, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you believe in space, but that's another thing.
Yeah, I got a buddy who's Muslim and he believes in this firmament thing. And I don't really.
Oh, he's going flat Earth. He's going flat Earth.
Yeah, I know. I try to wake him up from that shit, but I mean.
You gonna try and change his mind, please?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know, right? That's not gonna happen. I gave up a long time ago, actually, but I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, I've never been to space. Just like.
Right, we don't know. We only know what they tell us, and it's up to us whether we believe it or not. I don't know.
Well, I know one thing.
It's still about your perception.
I know one thing. How about this? CGI didn't exist to the point to where they could fake it until this point. Think about that.
Well, you think we went to the moon?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's the best thing you could ever say to me.
I don't know. I mean, do you think they could have faked it well enough?
No, I don't think they did.
Okay. Well, then that you know. That's my thing, dude. Okay, if you want to, if
But how do you stop there? Why did NASA fake the moon landings? Oh, we didn't go to the moon. Okay, let me go pay my bills, pick up my kids.
maybe as an edge over the Soviets.
That was the most logical answer I got, and I thought, yeah, they had to do it. They had to fake it. They had to fake it and make them to believe it so they could be the first. And that's why they did it. That's why they did it that way. That I buy. But I think they had the Russians were probably in on it, trying to make it look like a race, so they had an excuse of why they had to hurry up in case they got caught.
I mean, let me put it to you like this. There was never any footage of, like, as this played devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
My friend was like, yeah, there's never any old footage of rockets going up and, like, you seeing the Earth from a launch or something like that or whatnot. And, yeah, that's true, but my point is this. It's like, okay, back in the day, they couldn't really fake it. They had to use props. Nowadays, they can use CGI. So, really...
Yeah, but movies look better than some of the stuff
Well, I
they're
mean,
showing us.
at the end of the day, we're trusting the government. And who does that? So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't. To me, I don't know.
And
you
so
say
Tesla, like private
you in the
enterprise,
military?
like, no. Tesla,
Okay.
private enterprise, like I'll give them like.
Why? You believe that car stuff?
No, but I mean, if I've seen some footage of them launching satellites and landing their rockets down on the same launch pad they took off from.
Does that mean they went into space?
It means they went close.
We got close.
Means they went close.
Yeah.
I mean, but who knows? I mean, like
I don't know about a firmament or anything. My theory was
me
always
either.
that the
I
further
don't
you
think
go
so
up, the
either.
thicker it gets, the denser it gets, and it becomes a liquid form that you can't penetrate. That's just a theory. I love it. I think it's water. Water above, water below.
How would you explain the stars?
Behind the water, that's why they shimmer the way they do.
Weird.
But when you get into the book, you're going to notice that the orbs that spoke with me had a certain look. And when somebody zoomed in on stars, I'm like, well, that's what the orb looked like. So they zoom in on these stars with these P900s. And I'm like, that's exactly what the orbs look like that were over my head. Well, they gave me more than just don't eat meat. They gave me a list of
Well,
things.
I mean, it would make sense if there was some sort of water layer in between. I mean, it happens on other planets all the time. There's like a layer of water in between, like on Venus.
Okay, let me just start. But that's
know.
what they tell you. I mean, we don't know what's going on. Okay, why don't we have colonies on the moon? Why aren't we still going to the moon?
Why are we still burning fossil fuels?
Well, yeah, that should.
I mean, I get it for plastic, manufacturing and stuff like that, but like burning it as used for fuel, I mean, we should have gotten over that a long time ago. I just think.
We should have gotten over quite a bit a long time ago, and I think if we weren't manipulated and distracted, we'd be fine. I think we're going to be fine. I'm absolutely sure we're going to be fine. This is going to take a little longer, and this way, we may learn a little bit more. We might be learning a little bit more quicker.
Well, I don't know. Capitalism doesn't kill us all first, because.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm running out of time, I think, now. No.
I'm just saying.
Hey, do you know what stripe under the flag is red or white under the stars?
Which one?
The United States flag. Is it red or white underneath the stars?
Red or white? It's
Yeah.
both. Right?
Well, yeah, but which one touches the stars?
Oh.
What?
Be the white, huh?
Yeah, it is the white in this timeline. Most people remember, well, a lot of people. Some people remember red. I remember red, but it is white. Where you going, Patty? Go ahead, you go.
You're doing something.
What you got to do?
I'll get my.
Do what you got to do. You're good. Go get, oh, yeah, okay. Give himself a stiff one.
Oh,
Hey, what weapon does the Scarecrow carry in The Wizard of Oz? Can't believe we're going these deep conversations, and I go back to the Mandela Effects. I go back to kindergarten.
Does the Scarecrow carry a weapon in The Wizard of Oz?
Does he?
Does he? And if so, what weapon is it?
I don't think he does.
Yeah, he does. It's a torch.
No.
Torch.
Why would the Scarecrow carry a torch?
Wow, God,
Wait,
he would. That would hurt.
Who had a torch?
In The Wizard of Oz?
At the moment.
Dude, I think the Oz guy did, I think, at the end.
He did get torched, though, right? He had a pitchfork?
He did get a fire.
He had a pitchfork.
No, he didn't have a pitchfork.
Didn't have a pitchfork.
In this timeline, he carries A gun.
6-shooter.
In what timeline?
The one you're in now, man.
Get the fuck out of here.
The one where
Absolutely.
the one where JFK, there's 6 people in the car. That
Wait a
timeline.
second. So you're telling me if I watch The Wizard of Oz,
You'll see a pistol in his hand.
I'll see a pistol in his hand?
I remember seeing it.
No fucking way.
I never, ever, as in my childhood, did I ever see it with that guy having a gun in his hand. But now, I watched it over since I started getting into this stuff.
Scarecrow. He's got a gun in his hand, really?
Yep, a 6-shooter.
You know what?
Did ask him about the yield sign. She said yellow. He said
Oh my
red.
gosh, he sure does.
Uh-oh. I want him to look up JFK because he's looking at me going, no, there's no bar in the middle of the car. No, there's 4 people in the
Yeah,
car.
there's 2 back seats. There's, you know, it's like,
Why the fuck does he have a 6-shooter?
He's, the look on his face is
yes.
priceless, I
It
tell
reminds me
you.
of the look I had on my face the first time I saw it. Weird shit is going down on planet Earth, dude. Strange things are afoot.
You mean the Earth? Don't you mean the Earth plane?
Well, this one. This plane. Anyway. I just want to go home.
Go home, every night.
A wrench?
No, you don't want to get
I wanna go
out.
home
It
to
said
my
he
plane.
used to have a wrench?
I don't remember. Wait a minute. That's weird now.
Well, he did pick up a wrench when they found the Tin Man. He picked up a wrench to help and oil can. But that's not the weapon he had. He had a 6-shooter.
Wow.
He has a 6-shooter.
I didn't remember. I do remember him with a wrench, but I don't know if he only picked it up one time in the movie. That's not going to be a big deal. Other things changed for me, like thank God it's Fridays, or thank God it's Friday. Oh, better get that sound off there. Get a copyright strike. Nice big empty room. It's dead of winter, you know. These things happen.
He never had a gun. He never had a gun.
I don't remember one.
He never had a
He's holding an
gun.
axe.
No, Scarecrow.
Oh, Scarecrow. That's too much.
How the fuck?
Oh, where did he get the gun from?
Dude, it's the same thing as the JFK thing I told you about. Look up JFK. He swore before I even put on the camera. He swore there was 4 people in the car. She said 3. What's that looks like?
No, there were 4 people in that car. What?
Yeah, pretty sure you're really going to enjoy the book. Yeah, a little disappointing that we got so deep and I went back to kindergarten with the Mandela Effect. That's really what it is at this point. But once you get through a couple of the changes, because when you go onto this book and you go onto my site and the other sites that I showed you in the back of my book, you're going to notice a shit ton of changes. You look up MandelaEffect.com. That's where in 15, that's where it was like, that was my therapy. They were the only people I knew that were going through the same crap that I was going through. And I would talk with them. And then once in a while I started to go to YouTube. And when I went to YouTube, there was only 3-4 Mandela Effect videos. And it was about the Berenstain Bears and Snow White. You know what Snow White is, right? You know that one?
No, but I know Snow White. I don't know.
Blank, blank on the wall.
Mirror, mirror. What are you talking about?
Magic mirror on the
Get
wall.
the fuck out of here. It is not Magic Mirror.
It's always been Magic Mirror on the wall. In the last timeline I was in, we just shifted recently, so it might have changed again, but I doubt it. That one kind of stuck. How about the spelling changes? Folgers Coffee has no D. I remember when they changed the label. Okay, same thing with McDonald's happened to me with that one. I saw them change the label, and I went, they modernized it. Didn't think nothing about that. Same thing with McDonald's, McDonald's and McDonald's. Just thought it got modernized. What else? There were so many. Like everybody watching this video right now is going, tell them about that one, tell them about this one. And I can't even remember them. I had a book here written down that I would just grab, and somebody took it. Because I would just grab the book and start going down the list. Name changes. You remember an actress called Sally something F
Fields?
What's her name?
Sally Fields?
Sally Fields?
In this timeline, it's Sally Field. It's not Sally Fields. Everybody else, don't worry, you're not the only one. Everybody else is with you. Donna Summers is Donna Summer. Christopher Reeves is Christopher Reeve.
Whoa! No, what the fuck?
What?
No.
He's going to have to do a whole video on this guy by himself.
No, what the fuck?
Oh, I'm sorry. There are animals out there. They are called mandanimals. That was a phrase coined by Scarab Performance. That's the channel I showed you on the back. He does interviews and videos. Shoot, man, another hour. I could probably put him on. I probably will. If you guys go get something to eat and come back, I'll put him on. He's never heard eruption. Well, okay, that'll definitely get me a copyright strike, even though me and Eddie are tight, but not that tight. Where'd you put the remote?
Am I any better? Pearl Jam?
Eddie Van Halen?
Oh, Van Halen, okay.
Yeah, Van Halen, some of his, Eddie's leads have changed for me. Not a lot, not by a lot, but enough. I've seen Van Halen 11 times, man. I know what I'm listening to.
I'm giving the boy Charleston's.
Yeah, do it.
So he's never heard of rock.
The boy, huh? So, hey, thanks a lot for the interview, guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You're going to love the book.
Thank you for the book, man. Definitely going to read it. Jesus.
I hope to see you again.
Oh, yeah, dude, we're coming back. We're coming
Excellent.
back when the cars are
And I'm going to try the food.
Yeah, show them the new menu. I guess I can keep rolling until I hear,
I can't believe Doc Holliday got in an argument and killed somebody.
oh, you're going back to history. Okay. See yas. All right, it's come to my attention. Somebody said something that made a lot of sense to me. That ever happens. It was about the sun. And that a lot of people, probably the ones experiencing the Mandela Effect, see the white sun because they see a five-dimensional sun. It was explained in greater detail. I saved it on my site under updated energy information or something to that effect. Hey. And I just found that interesting. You know, I'm trying to think, because they're saying, well, our consciousness is still 3D. Like, well, that makes sense to me. Parts of us are still 3D, parts of us are still 5D. And, yeah, keep it up. It made more sense to me when I was listening to it. I feel like I got to listen to it and do this over. But that it's a 5D sun and we're still physically 3D and our consciousness is 5D. That's what it was, and that makes more sense. That's why we're seeing the things we're seeing, that we are shifting into different timelines and things were just created differently there. That's what how their talk went. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. That's like basically what I go with our consciousness is shifting into different timelines. And there's infinite in quantum, so we're going to get every single possible scenario. Well, how come this is the same? How come this didn't happen? Well, it's because it's infinite, and you're probably the only one in that dimension. So I found that very interesting. But, that it's not a simulated sun, and I thought, oh, what simulated sun? They're putting that information out. It's a fear base. That's what that would do. All right, I got to go kick some kitty ass. I get on any shows I can, when I can, but it's usually late night for me.
Last night it was Martha James channel. I was listening to it at the bar till I closed. Got upstairs, they were still on. I was shocked. It was like a 4-hour show. And then I heard the podcast. So I jumped on it. She invited me on. I got on, started chatting it up. And I came up with this theory, and it's totally goodbye. It's awful. It's like I didn't like it. For some reason, I didn't like it, but I'm like, well, everything's on the table. I can't. I don't know. So the theory was, but this is butchered, and I have the reason why it's butchered. But the theory was that, and I've said this in a couple of videos, that the negative factions involved in this are doing it to the population on purpose to help wake them up. They know what they're doing. And they're bringing all this negativity on us, so we wake up. And I kicked it around for a few weeks, but this week it hit me. I'm like, why not? It didn't even hit me. I was just like, why not? Why can't that be true? Well, it can't be true, because if they really wanted to help us, they'd leave us the frick alone. They wouldn't be hitting us with all these waves of energy, and I don't mean the natural ones coming in. I mean like HARP and elf waves and microwaves and all the other crap going on. And so they're doing these things to us to help us wake up, and I'm calling BS. I'm saying, no, leave us alone and let's see how it goes without the manipulation. So that, I mentioned that on the show last night. I think it was December 3rd. No, that's today. Checks. So it was the second into the third, I suppose.
He's here with his parents, but he's got a Mandela Effect shirt on. What did you just tell me?
Oh, my grandparents were around when Mandela died. So, and I don't remember and I remember them telling me that. So, how could he have died in 2002 when I remember my grandparents telling me when he died, whatever?
Right. How cool is that?
All right, listen up. There's waves coming in. Today's the 4th. It's midnight, so. Let's see, it is 12:01. It is the 4th. There's energy waves coming in. I don't care what you want to call them. I don't care what he calls them. It's going to depend on your location. I don't like that one, but it's going to depend on your location.
I felt shifts recently, major ones, and I think I'm going through a major one now, and I bet everybody is. Last week in November, I think Mercury's out of retrograde on the 14th of December. I rarely keep track of that stuff. And now I'm just like, come on, bring it on. So because I'm aware of all this, does it make it easier? Not all the time, but it is now. Because I can feel it, and I know what it is, and I'm conscious of it, I'm aware of it, I'm thinking about it. And other times, it's like I might feel it and think, maybe it's because of this or that. No, it's because of the shift. And I don't think that way all the time. But when I think that way, it makes it easier. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that, I've hit the pinnacle. I don't know if I hit the apex yet. I don't think I did. So funny. That just reminded me, So my first night behind the bar, back from the renovations, Thanksgiving night, real late. Friday, Black Friday, so it was day after Thanksgiving. Girl comes in, sits in the bar. She starts, oh, you have a Ford shirt on. Because I'm a Chevy girl. And I said, yeah, well, the spelling of Chevy changed for me. She says, oh, I got to tell you about the Mandela Effect. So now, the t-shirt I had underneath the shirt I had was Mandela Effect. So I took that off. It was Tweedledee, Tweedledum. And I showed her that. She's looking at it. Yeah, so of course she got the book. We talked about that for a good half hour before I put the camera on her. And she said no, and then she said yeah.
About the motorcycle. Because it's not what I, like, I don't remember.
You don't mind if I interview you, do you? Put you on one of my videos?
I do mind.
Oh, you just talked with her for a good... Oh, that's upside down.
I don't want to.
You're not on, don't worry. Talked with her for a good half hour about this stuff. Got my book and everything. She don't want to be on film.
Okay.
But she's right with us.
It's fine. I don't.
No, I ain't gonna do it. Hey, I'm doing it. No, you're not doing it. He just told me he didn't let me finish. I didn't let him finish giving me his story around it, but they were talking about something else. But he just told me Michael Jackson died for him in 1988, and he has the trigger for it, and that kind of weirded him out. And I'm like, how could you go that long in life, not realize Michael Jackson's still alive? But maybe he wasn't for him. Don't you worry about that. Nobody cares. Everybody, you want to know what I think? You got to go watch my videos. I don't know what else to tell you. I told you what I think.
Is there a dark
I think CERN and the D-Wave computer, I think they are manipulating it, whatever it is. I think they understand it and they're manipulating it.
They do know. I agree.
But I don't think they're the cause. I think it's natural. I think it's natural. I think that's just the way we experience physical reality.
What is it? They're manipulating reality? Is that what you're saying? Because only you and I can do that according to the right? We're in charge of our own reality?
Right, but you know what? That thing there, that's how they pull people with them. They keep control. They have the control because they can manipulate. People believe that shit's real. They believe the news. They believe the wars. They believe the football games and the hockey games.
And keep it open for a minute.
Keep it open. That's why. But like I said before, you're the only one in your dimension. They can't touch you if you don't want them to. You believe it. There's a lot to do with your feelings and your beliefs. Truly believe it. Truly believe. Not what you think you believe or what you kind of believe it or really what you believe. I mean, that's what I think. But I might not be right.
Like, for instance, believing this virus here right now. And that, we know that means for what do you?
Believing the bar is right here, right now.
I just mean, I thought of this a few days ago and I decided to come here to this bar.
Right, well, that's part of it. You felt that. You saw that coming. You created that. You're here. You created it. You created that.
I have only met people who do not watch television. Not very often.
Do you find that not weird?
No, I don't. Yeah, it's just like.
Yeah. No, your life is a big coincidence.
I don't believe in coincidence.
Right, well, I don't mean coincidence. I mean, this is all for a reason. I'm just walking to this bar 10 years after you've been in here.
I YouTube.
And I say to you, oh, the spelling of Chevrolet changed, and you said, what? Oh, that's the Mandela Effect.
Absolutely. But I've just
you're going to teach me.
been researching this a few, like maybe in the last couple of months. And
oh wow, I've been at it for a couple years.
No, I've only met people on this trip who
don't watch TV, also believe in the Mandela Effect, believe in flat Earth.
Like everywhere I go, like what are the chances that I come up here? I didn't even know it was Thanksgiving or these guys. They teach me this house
were you exposed to flat Earth theory before you came up here?
Never. I didn't even think it fit in, and then all of a sudden when he was talking about it, I also believe that the government is, I mean, it all just fits into I also believe that the government is preparing for a
Why do you believe in them at all?
I believe in one government, not our government, but like.
Legendary Silver Dollar Salute. This is Anthony, your host, speaking. How may I help you? Hello. Well, I guess I'm not going to say all that again.
What happened to the Sims, man?
I don't know.
You gotta pay them. Oh.
Are they shut off? Oh, my friend can't be one there.
Our government. 8 people, maybe they'll Instagram, maybe they whatever. These people in Switzerland, these people in France. I do think that they're preparing for a false, a fake alien invasion.
Oh, for sure, but I can't film you anymore because of the music. Say bye.
Bye.
Really gorgeous day today. I know, like right through Thanksgiving holiday. Big shift. Had to be. Either that or it's the pressure of the holidays got to me. I'm used to that. But feels clear. With chemicals. Oh, there's that thing I was talking about before, where I'll swear it said a compromise is a theft of joy. Now it says a comparison is a theft of joy. I guess both kind of can make sense depending on the situation. We're doing a lot of thinking about that sun simulator, the moon, the theory that the sun simulator is actually hiding Planet X or Nibiru or whatever they call it. I'm really under the impression that we've experienced that. Okay, let me start over. I experienced that already in some other timeline. I believe it was Chick said it. On the SMQ show, you know, as soon as something comes up, we shift out of it. We shift on to the next timeline. I think that's very much a possibility. I think there's other shifts as well. There's minor shifts, major shifts. And I think there's individual shifts. And that's one of the bigger things I've been thinking about. There was a channel, I can't remember which one. They were saying that the energy waves are coming in and people will experience it depending on where they are. And I believe they meant geographically. I believe that's what they were talking about, how the energy waves are coming in, and it's so I was kind of looking at it from that perspective, asking people, you know, hey, have you felt a shift? Have you felt aggravated? However you feel the shift or whatever. And you know, it's like, okay, it might be north to south, and I'm like, that's not making sense. And maybe they mean where you are. Maybe they mean where you are within yourself. Who you are, where you are spiritually or divinely, I don't know. Where you are with understanding what the Mandela Effect is showing us, what it is, what it does, how we can create and manipulate, use. Why not? And other people have said it too, you know, we're creating individually, we're creating our own reality. And every time we put our energy into, oh, the simulated sun is hiding Nibiru, and maybe it is. You know, that's a second coming for something has been so projected and believed that, you know, it's going to happen for people. What is it though? I was having a conversation with somebody else about terms in the Bible and the difference between Jesus and Lucifer, and not something I'm going to do here. Somebody said the second coming. Well, it's either Jesus or Lucifer. Why would they hide it? I mean, at some point, it's going to be known or seen or whatever. I mean, if we've seen it coming in, why would they hide it? So we would be calm and not worry about it? I think they'd want us to be upset and worried about it. That's how they get their energy, their food. How they keep the masses wrapped in bullcrap with the fear. Having a planet show up out of nowhere would be mass fear. Isn't that what they would want? Yeah, it's just a theory out there I've been kicking around. The simulated sun. The whole time, the simulated sun theory thing came out for me, I kept thinking, well, what happened to our sun? And now I'm under the impression that the simulated sun is something we, as whoever, for somebody physical, put it of an orbit I can see with my physical eye. I hope that wasn't locked. I'll throw it. Okay, we're good. Where was I? Yeah, some of the theories, I really don't know. I tend to think that we're shifting our consciousness. Like in my book, when I mentioned the volcanoes, I was looking at information on volcanoes in Colorado, northern Colorado, and whatever state is above us now. But it was Yosemite, and it was there was volcanoes, and they were about to erupt any day now, and that's happened again since. They could erupt any day. But the first time was in February, and like I said in my book, that the information on that in the YouTube history was not there. I never looked at those videos. And all of a sudden there was no information on, there was no big scare or anything. So I'm under the impression, the volcano went off, crushed half of the middle west part of the United States. All these people all of a sudden started noticing changes because we all, most of us, wherever you are, shifted into a timeline where the volcano didn't go off, because those volcanoes are not in Colorado anymore for me, and it was only a small portion of it that was when I was checking them out. So it's snowing. That's what that really is. And it just won't stop. It wants me to keep going. Maybe it's wet. I don't know. Simulated sun thing. I don't know. Of course, it's part of it. I don't know what. I tend to think something is really going to hit the fan soon, and when it does, we'll probably just shift out of it. I mean, that's not where most of the people watching this, are. We're beyond that. We're beyond the fear-mongering and being controlled and manipulated, right? Or are we? I mean, I keep thinking, well, I'm always going to know who I am, okay? I don't even know that. I don't know if that's true. But I always feel my heart, that's what I always know. Pretty cool, those birds flying against the snow. Well, you want to come out, Prince? I want to go in. Come on. Let's go. I want to shut the door. What? Oh, whatever. Tells me it's too cold. I said that. Well, we had a foot last night, and we're getting a foot plus now. I don't even know what to say anymore. The whole moon thing, the sun thing, the stars. I know somebody was saying, they're just lights, they're just lights. Okay, you know what? I get it. That's very possible. In my book, I explain how these lights communicated with me. You know, they came at me and rubber band back, and, you know, for a good amount of time. And, you know, my first thought was they are intelligent beings. But then I realized, what else could it be? You know, I want to take it a step further. What else could it be? Well, it could be something, some power, some energy force controlling them. It doesn't have to be all them individual intelligent beings, which is what my first initial thought was after I calmed down. But it could be an intelligent person, intelligent being, intelligent energy force, whatever, controlling those lights. That's possible as well. You know, so I tend to think they're intelligent beings. I don't know, though, because the orbs that I saw the previous week, or was it the week after? God, I can't, everything's mushing together. No, I saw the orbs first, I believe. Yeah, I did see the orbs first and stopped eating meat, and then I saw the stars. That was the whole point. I think the orbs were trying to get at. But I'm getting snowed in here on my porch. But I don't know, lights. I tend to think they're intelligent beings. Probably us. I mean, or I also tend to think that it's probably us, and we're just an aspect of what we really are, who we really are. I mean, but that's, you know, that's speculation. I don't know. I just really feel like a lot of things are coming to a head. And I've known this too. I mean, you know, ever since 15 and 16, and when I really started to understand it, you know, the dates that came up were 2018, 2022, and 2030 something. Or was it 29? It was 29. Go back on the Mandela Effects site and check that out. I think I could find that. But there were dates that came up that were supposed to be trigger points, more major shifts. Somebody said we weren't supposed to have any shifts from 16 to 18 or something. I'm like, well, that's baloney. I don't think anybody really knows. All right, time for me to go get some coffee. This thing won't go off. It just wants me to keep talking. Hey, buddy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, you want to talk to her? You want to say hello? Yeah, tell them about the moon. Oh, yeah? How do you feel about the simulated sun? How do you feel about aliens? How do you feel about you actually being a multidimensional being, experiencing reality in different dimensions? Because I think you actually do. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I love you too, buddy. Somebody's ready for food, because that's where she goes when she wants to eat. Right, Buttercup? She just wants to eat and sleep. And this one just wants... Yup, I know. Alright, let's get you some fresh food. Let me see if this will go off now. I don't know if this camera's going to pick this up, but that cloud's like a rainbow, pink and blue. Or green. spoon or something. The camera's picking that up. No idea if it's getting it or not. It's like a square rainbow. No, what do I see? I see pink, purple, blue, green, maybe yellow. Next to the fancy chemtrails. Oh boy, I need to look up more often. Don't we all? I wanted to get that tattoo on your back, on your neck. I just wanted to. Raw, huh? Is that raw? Look at you. Very strange day for me today. I want to document it, but there's nothing to document. Something's missing. And I slept a lot. And I just figured the sleeping a lot is probably just my body catching up from all the hard labor work, and now I'm getting back into bartending and but there's something missing. I can't even. Get him, Prince. Oh, suckers are big around here. Interesting skies. That one cloud over there, I've seen a couple of those out today. It's just like a whale. They look like whales. Favorite shot right here. Sat in Hot Springs for an hour and did some chants and whatever it was I had to do. And well, it didn't really hit me then. I was very relaxed. And then by the time I got home, took a nap, and woke up, I was like, wow, there it is. And I stated, yes, I'm shifting my consciousness into a timeline where this and this and this and this and this. And something, came into my head and said, well, you can do that, you are doing that, but why do you feel like you have to do that? I think what it meant, what I was getting, what it was telling me or whatever, I could just adjust my consciousness into that each timeline, which is kind of the same thing. It's not at all, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Just stay in that. I don't know why you would if you can get out, it's something that could be considered, I suppose. But I'm feeling great.